So in this video, I'm gonna keep it kind of laid back, but basically I'm going to show you how to do a single post. And this is actually using the post system in the Elementor Hello theme, which is built into the template, which technically doesn't have sidebars. So if you're looking for sidebars, I'm going to do a different set of videos and I'll show you how to migrate this to a theme that I recommend. There's a few hundred themes that work with Elementor plugin, but the reason they're using this one is because it's built by the same team that does the plugin. Also, it works well with the pro version, extremely well, because it has the plugin has a lot of blog features. The pro version does, but to get around that and to save you money to start, this is the way that this is one way that you can do it, and then I'm going to show you a way that I recommend that you do. And it takes a little work, but it's worth it at the end. So let's talk about this setup. So basically, this is a section just like anywhere else, like the home page. It has the big section here with a background image, and it basically has different sections and columns. That's all it is. So basically, I have one column on top, one section on top, and the section is boxed. It's not stretched out. It's I don't have the content width. Now I can mess with this, but I left it just like that. So basically it looks like it's all the way across the screen. Okay. And it kind of fits with the rest of the site. So you have the portfolio services. So it kind of fits in with the site itself. And as you can see, it's a simple blog post. Now I was messing around down here, and I also created a little text box here, and I could talk about this. It's not that hard to do. It's basically two titles and then an image that I brought down. This I'll talk about in a separate video because you're gonna have to import it and then we create a layout. So there's two plugins that you're gonna need. Well, you're gonna need one, but I recommend to get both. So the first plugin is called Press Element Widgets for Elementor, and then the other one is called Anywhere where can't spell, and it'll probably show up. It's I just do L. Where is it? Fine. This one, the one with the AE symbol. This basically is going to let you do shortcodes, and you can add stuff around the site, which does a little pretty cool thing. So if you're using something over and over and over again, um, like a footer section or a bottom section of the site, and you want it to show up only on the pages, then you would use something like this. And I'll go into this in another video, so I'm not going to go too deep. What I want to show you is how to set up a basic post. So what we want to do is we're going to edit this, and I'm just going to grab this text. I'm just going to grab the whole thing. I'm just going to copy it. And this is basically, I think it's called Jabberwocky. It's basically just fake content, just to fill content, just to show you how to do this. And then we're going to create a new post. And I'm just going to do blog test 2. And usually you would paste it in here and call it a day, right? And of course you would fill the excerpt. And then by the way, if you don't see excerpt here, just go into screen options on top and you should see it right there. So it's unchecked. You can check it and it'll show up down here. So if you want to do a brief summary of the content, you can do that. Leave it a default theme. I'm going to publish. Now, mind you, I'm not using Elementor at this stage. So when we view this post, this is probably what everybody else is seeing. A big wide mess. Okay, so it doesn't have containers in this theme. Meaning containers is that it doesn't look like a blog. It looks like a big expanded page, which doesn't make it good for reading, because you want to condense the reading, especially on a blog post. You want them to be a little more narrower so it's easier to read and follow down. So what we can do is I'm just gonna update this real quick. Edit Elementor right from here. We're gonna go, and the first thing we want to do is, you see this blog test title? I want to hide it. See the settings on the bottom left? There's an option where it says hide title. It'll still show in the page source. It just won't show excuse me. It won't show in the on the page itself, the title. So we're gonna go back. I'm gonna add one section. We're gonna add that, and just we're gonna add a second one here. Now, if you look at this blog post, let's close that one. This one here. If you notice, I have a section within a section. So this is actually one big section and a section, but we're going to work on the top one first. So we're going to go into the section itself, and I'm going to leave it boxed right now. And I'm going to put the height, the minimum height. I'm going to leave it at 400 for now. This just expands it so it looks better when we're working on it. We want to go into background type, click classic, and just let's add an image. And let's add the pizza. I guess I want pizza today. So it's nice. It's okay. Kind of looks like this post right there. So I'm just going to do it from the top of my head. So let's go close this because I'm bouncing too much. We're going to go into the height. So we're going to layout. It's a little too big, so I'm going to do it around 265. That's good. And we're going to drop a heading in here, and we're going to say you're going to change the color of it. But the first thing you want to do is probably change the color. So we're going to go in and go to style, text color, and just make it white for now. And we're just going to name it test blog. Right now, the image in the background is a little strong. Column gap. Let's do no gap. The minimum height. No, we're gonna leave it minimum height. Column position middle. Let's do that. Middle's everything out. Overflow. I like hidden. You can basically play with this. I mean, if you ever make a mistake, you go into history and say, "Oh, I just made a mistake here, and I haven't applied yet." So if I go back to this one, it's going to change something. So let's go to edit. Let's go back, and you also have revisions of the ones you just saved. Just keep that in mind. So let's go back here. So I am going to leave this at default because that brings it up there. All right, layout. Position. I want it center like that, or you could do, let's say, top center. Okay, fine. Repeat. I like no repeat. And contain squares it in. Auto just fills it automatically. And you got cover. I kind of prefer cover. And you got custom. You can do custom like widths and stuff. You know how you want to do it. So I'm just going to do cover. And then you got the background overlay, which you can do a nice cover, a background color. So let's say you want to make it kind of a blue, like a blue hue, and maybe then just lighten it up a little bit. I believe we were using, yeah. Or you can make it a little lighter. Or you could use a grayscale and then just bring a little darkness into it. So it makes the text pop. So just there. Good. All right. So the next section is the content. But before we do that, If you look at this one, it has a section here, and then it has this section. So we want to set this up. So the first thing you want to do is grab an intersection. This basically creates a section within a section, so it gives you multiple columns. And then we're gonna just duplicate it, and in this one we're gonna delete one column. So this one's gonna have two columns, and this is where you could put your metadata for the posts, and this is where you're gonna put the content. Okay. So the first thing we want to do is go look for the metadata. So we're gonna be looking at see, essential add-ons, no, site elements. Here we go. So you could do it a couple of ways. Like if I put, and I just went through it, if I add, this is another thing, you could do it this way, and name it a little different, and that'll be the heading. Or if you already have a title, you can always put post title here. Now what happens here is that it's black, so you have to do all the settings. It's up to you if you want to use the title there or just use the text. So you can center that and then just change the style to white. Obviously the site title should be the same as the title here, whatever the keyword or the topic of the content, that's what it should be. So I'm just gonna delete that one. I just wanted to show you that. Let's scroll down. So we gotta go in, we're gonna get if I had a post excerpt, what I can do is probably add a post excerpt here and then go no link. But I really don't want to do that much. I just want to keep it as simple as possible. So we're going to delete that. So we're going to use this. You can put the post author there. It has my name already. You could center it. Now what I like to do is add new column and put it at the end, and then add another column on this side. And I like having columns because what happens is these columns are be like spacers. So it centers whatever you have in here. So basically, you can go like, you see how here has the name, the date, and the category. If you just want name and date, you could do 1, 2, 3, 4, and then just do 2 and 2, and 2 in the middle, and it'll just be middle out. That's just a little trick to just make your life easier. Let's go. Okay. So the other one that I want is the date. I mean, you could probably search date, but post offer, post date. So the post date, and center it, and then that one's centered. Okay. So when we preview this, it's not going to look like much right now, but you see that it has, it's starting to, get into shape. So we got our HTML post, the title here, and the author. If you notice there's a lot of spacing there, that's easily fixed. Don't worry about that. Now we have the text content. Now this is where it gets a little tricky. So since we're using free, we're going to have to be inventive. So we're going to be using the text editor. So you're going to be using this as you would if you were inside of WordPress writing the content, if that makes any sense. So what you can do is increase this. And you could always preview it anytime as well when you're working on it, just clicking that. So hopefully I don't remember if yes, I did. Okay. So what I'm going to do is, you can work on it on this side as well, but I'm going to go into the visual section. Now, if you notice, everything on the left, you have a what they call what you see is what you get, a WYSIWYG. So you have add media, you have bolds, and you have paragraphs and all the headings here. You have indentations, you have text color, you have hyperlinks. So you can do everything from here. It's just a little awkward, I understand. So what I recommend is to get the content written first, and then you format it, and then you paste it in text, and then you formatted here with the bolds and stuff like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove this image and remove that image, and say I want to add an image here. Now we could just go right into media library, and I don't think I have any videos here, do I? No, I don't. Okay, anyway, let's see. Just keep it foodie, so we're gonna use this one here, and I'm gonna insert. Saying insert gallery. I don't want gallery. Hold on a second. Add media. Oh, because they create galleries, so I gotta be careful. I don't want to create a gallery. So let's do. That was a coffee. All right. Now here, if we preview this, it's gonna start looking like a blog post. Now we haven't worked on the width yet, just fine, but it's still a lot better than what it was. It was this. So now you have the image here. Now you can make it bigger, or you can make it smaller, or you can make it go into the content. So what you can do is you can drag it in, and I just did something. If that ever happens to you and it disappears, just hit Control Z or Command Z and it'll go away. You see these buttons up here? This is align, shift, and what it does, it aligns it into the content, align center, align right. Then you have no alignment, which is the way it was. So we want to align it. Now, when we preview this again, now it's within the content. So if you want to do something like that, you could also make it a little bit bigger. You can make it a lot bigger. Let's see how that looks. All right. Of course, you want this to be something that matches the content. So, and I like doing one, like 1 to 3 images in my content. So you could have an image here, and then somewhere down here, you could add a second image. But I don't want this image on this side. I want it on the other side. I kind of like, I'm driven to the right side. This one. Kind of like that. Okay. All right. So now we're going to go, excuse me. And I want to add just another image. And if you want to, like, let's say you want to bold class here, and then you want to hyperlink, I know this one here, then you could create a hyperlink there. I'm just going to put it to Google. I'm just going to put it to SEO services. You want interlink, you could do that. And I would leave it, like that. Because if you click on, let's say here, interlink, and we go into this cogwheel there, you have your pages here. So I could add the link there. Now we update. And I didn't do the whole wording, but that's fine. It's just, see, there's a class, but I don't see the, where did I link? So yeah, I don't like when it does this, that it shows the link. So I'm going to bold that link, and I'm going to underline it because I want to see it, and it's in red, which is annoying. So we can fix that. So we go into, so now I can see the link. When you're doing links, you want to make sure that they know it's a link. It's not something they can't figure it out. I mean, you go to a page and you don't know what they're linking to. See, this is when I'm reading here and I go, and I see this bold underline. I know this is a link. So that's pretty much it on this. So let's add one more image. So say I want to put it in the middle of this content, right after this, and I want to add these people laughing, and I want to make it. You click on the image. I want to go this way, and I want to make it a little. Whoops. Click on the image, and then it has that, and then there's edit function. So the edit function lets you, before I forget, make the same settings here. So if you want to align left, hit update, it'll move. If you hit pencil, if you want to align it right, and you want to make it, let's say I only want it to be 350. You can just type it in 350. On the content, you have advanced options, so you can, this is important, this is what I'm showing to you, image title attributes. So you can do an attribute here. It's basically an alt text image title. So when they hover over it, it'll be more, it should show. So let's see, let's just do it. I'm not, let's preview. Hey, where is it? There it is. See, it has, when you hover it has information of what it is. So that's basically the title. So this one doesn't have one. And that's pretty much it here. Now, I don't have the bottom one, but this is basically a simple blog post.